This is RC.
It's your girl K Marie.
Hey Wilk.
It's your boy Black.
It's your girl Lady.
And I'm Sirr, and you're listening to
2020.
2020.
2020.
2020. 2020.
2020 podcast. Bet.
2020. I did that one for you.
All right. Thank you for tuning in to another episode of Business Minute. I'm your host, Sirr. And today I'm joined by a special guest, Mr. LA Alston. How are you doing today, bro?
Man, I'm doing good, brother. Glad to be here.
Awesome. We're glad to have you, honestly. So, Mr. Alston, if you could,
Yes,
tell
sir.
the people what it is that you do, bro.
Well, like you said, my name is LA Alston. I am the owner of LA Photography. I've been doing it for about 7 years now, and man, I do everything from weddings to graduation pictures, newborn, engagement, the whole nine. It's like a conglomerate of all kind of things that I do. So I'm more of a generalist. I do it all, man, and I love it.
All right, that's what's important. So that brings me to one of my favorite questions to get us started. How long have you been active?
Man, I've always had a camera in my hand ever since I can remember being in elementary school, taking those disposable cameras to school. I love to snap the picture and just go. A friend of mine, she sent me a picture a couple months ago when we were in middle school. I had a disposable camera in my hand taking pictures. She said, LA, you have always had a camera in your hand. And you know what? I guess it's just one of those things that, God, he's always had it instilled in me, and I just, followed in the path. And here I am today.
All right, nothing wrong with that, bro. So that brings me to another question that brings kind of the root of things. What inspired you to start taking pictures? Like what?
Oh man, people get inspiration from all kind of sources.
Right.
As far as me, man, I got my inspiration from my mentoring program. A lot of people don't know, but my wife and I, we both have a mentoring program called Bounce Back Youth Leadership Foundation. Mm-hmm. And so me, I'm the type of person, I hate asking people for money. Like, it's a pet peeve of mine. Even in photography, people that owe me money, I hate going to them and saying, hey, where my money at? People know they owe you money. I'm like, where's my money? And so my wife, she was like, okay, you don't like asking people for money, but in order to have a nonprofit, you gotta ask people for money. I said, no, I wanna be able to fund my own organization, babe. And then she said, probably 2 days later, she's like, hey, what are you doing with your camera? I'm like, what you mean what I'm doing with it? She said, you love taking pictures, you got a real nice DSLR camera, why aren't you using it? And I'm like, I don't know. And then from that day forward, I said, you know what? I'm gonna learn the ins and outs of my camera, and I'm gonna snap every single day. And I promise you, for the first 4 years, I shot pictures every single day because I loved it, and it was a passion of mine. And then all of a sudden, people started paying me like, hey, I'll pay you to do this. I'm like, what? You'll pay me to do this? I'm like, after 3 years, because I did it for free for 3 years. And people, they'll give you like a tip every now and then. And every time they gave me a tip, I'll put that towards my mentoring program.
Right.
And so now that, photography, that's my passion, it's what I love to do, it's my job. When I leave my job, it's what I eat, sleep, and breathe, my photography. And 20% of my proceeds from my photography go towards my mentoring program. And so when people ask me, why did you start doing photography? It's kind of a, what's the word I'm trying to say? A two-in-one kind of thing. Like, I started my photography to help others out, and I help others out through my mentoring program, which is Bounce Back Youth Leadership Foundation. So I cannot talk about LA Photography without talking about Bounce Back. It just go hand in hand, and that's exactly why I started LA Photography, to fund my own mentoring program.
All right, that's a blessing to give back.
Yes, sir.
Using a passion.
Matter of fact, you speaking of give back, that's actually our motto: giving is living, and living is giving. And we have a saying, the kids, when we walk in the room, giving back, that's the motto for Bounce Back. B-O-U-N-C-E, yeah, we bout that, life. Right. And so that's it, man, giving back, that's the motto for Bounce Back.
Hey, that was unrehearsed. Just so I had no idea. All right, so you mentioned those 3 years where you were doing things for free.
Most definitely.
Were there any obstacles that you encountered along the way?
Oh yeah, man, there were plenty of obstacles. Matter of fact, one major obstacle was, with my marriage, because sometimes when you have a passion about something is gonna lack somewhere, and my communication with my wife, the one who kind of told me that, hey, you need to start using your camera more. My communication with my wife kind of lacked. And I won't say communication, just my time with her. You know, we weren't able to spend that much quality time together. And because I was so honed in on, man, this camera right here, learning it, shooting people. And I'm like, oh man, I couldn't spend more time with my wife like I wanted to. And so definitely, you know, that was one major obstacle, you know, that I definitely faced. But you know, with everything else, you get through it, and you learn ways to cope with it, and you learn ways to, you know, start working together and communicating together, getting my wife involved with what I'm doing. You know what I'm saying? That opened up a whole new door for us. And so, you know, you're definitely gonna run into all kind of obstacles, whether, you know, trying to find clients, finding people to believe in you, because when you first start off, man, your work is terrible, but it's all about your perception, how people perceive you. It's all about your character. And if you have a great character, people are gonna feed into what you are doing. Right. And that's what happened to me. Like, I go back and look at some of the pictures I've taken, I'm like, oh man, this is terrible. But I'm not bragging on myself, but I have a humble personality. And I believe the way you treat people, people are gonna treat you the same way. And I've always believed that. My parents instilled that in us. And so that's what I do, man. I give you the utmost respect, and people are gonna respect me. And that's how it is about my photography. Man, I treat people like they're first class, and they come back like, LA, you did such a great job. Although when I first started, I believe they were lying to me, but I appreciate you guys lying to me in the beginning. I appreciate that.
Support is everything.
Yeah, support is everything, brother.
So, and it's funny you brought that up about, you know, sacrificing time to perfect your craft. And, you know, time is finite.
Right.
You know, so where you're not applying it here, it's going to show in other areas.
Most definitely.
That brings me to my next question.
Yes, sir.
How did you find that balance between work and personal life?
Man, finding the balance was not easy. However, a lot of praying, brother. You know, I know that sound cliched, but it took a lot of balance and a lot of failing in order to find that balance. And what I mean by that is, me and my wife, we went through so much. Like, we got 3 kids now, but before then we only just had LJ. And I'm like, man, I need to start spending more time with my son, and I need to spend more time with my wife. But how can I do that? Now, one thing about me is, I've been a coach ever since 2007. I've been coaching football, basketball, soccer, you name it. I coach everything. My son loves sports. So I'm like, okay, what better way to spend more time with my son than to be his coach? And so ever since my son started playing youth sports, I've been his coach. That's our time. That's our father-son time. As well, I'm his coach. That's our time that we spend together. And my wife, I'm like, okay, babe, my wife believed in me. She believed in the business. I'm like, okay, I can ask my wife to do this, make her a part of LA Photography, make her a part of Bounce Back. My wife, she's the president now of Bounce Back. You know, and she loves it. She loves it just as much as I do. And although God gave me the vision, but she's the one operating it now. So, you know, we spending time, that's stuff we have in common. You know what I'm saying? And there's nothing more attractive than having something in common with your wife. And that right there is what we have in common. And so that's giving her something to do, and that's allowing us to spend time together. And then now that the kids are, well, we have a baby now, but we have babysitters that keep the kids and stuff like that now. And so me and her, we can go and we can spend time together. And even when we spend time together, it's not no quiet moment. We have stuff that we talk about, you know, and, you know, we're just not at the table, you know, eating and then we leave. We're actually communicating now, which we didn't have that at the beginning. You're like, you guys were married, how could you not have that? Because things fall off track sometimes. And, you know, you got to find what's going to put that back on track, and that's what we found that's going to keep us on track, and we both find it sexy to each other. And so, man, that's another whole story, but I know I got on track. But finding that balance is very important, especially in a business. And like with me, not only am I a photographer, I got a mentoring program, but I'm also an IT director. And you know, I don't want to focus so much time on my photography that I lose the passion for it. That's why I fall back. That's why I love that I have my IT background, because IT is what I love. And, you know, I could spend 40% on IT and don't have to put 100% in photography, because I feel like I would get burnt out real quick. And so, and it's the same thing with photography. With IT, I don't want to have to put 100% of my efforts in IT and only put 40% or 20% in my photography. So, you know, I kind of keep balance amongst everything I do. You know, everything is like an equal balance. But in between those balances, I'm putting in 100% with my with my photography, 100%, if not 200%. You know, because when I leave here, I'm going home to work on some photography, or I'm spending time with family. It's either one of those things. You know, my circle, like Drake said, I keep my cliques in twos. And that's pretty much, I got my work family, and then I got my family. And they small circles. They very small circles. So, man, finding the balance, man, I can speak on that for a minute, brother.
Hey, honestly, the reason I like that question is because it's different for everybody.
It is different.
Because it's based on your experiences as an individual. And
right.
You said something that I kind of want to bring back up. You have to be willing to fail in order to find the success in it.
Most definitely.
And that's the key, you know,
Most
being
definitely.
willing to, because nowadays people are failing and they're giving up.
Right, most
definitely.
definitely.
You fail to keep at it.
To keep at it. And you know what? One of my favorite quotes is by Michael Jordan. Michael Jordan said, "I can accept failure, but I can't not accept quitting." Like, man, think about it, man. If you quit, you just stuck. You're stuck. You know what I'm saying? But failure, man, you could bounce back from failure. You get it? Bounce back. You could bounce back from failure, man. And that's what, you know. And that's real talk.
It is
real talk.
It is, man. It is. All right. So, over your experience over the last few years, and I know this may be a hard question to tackle. If you need one, I totally get. What experience overall, the experiences you've had, do you find to be the most memorable? Is there one that just comes to mind that you was like, this is the one. This is it. This is what I do it for.
Right. Most definitely. Man, no, I don't even have to think about that question at all, or the answer to that question. And once again, don't want to sound cliche or like this an ad or anything like this, but every client that I shoot leaves like that memorable impression. Like, honestly, just about every client that I shoot become a friend. You know, it might not be that kind of friend that we talk on a regular basis. It's just one of those friends that, you know, when I see you in the street, like, man, they real cool, they dope. So, you know, every client of mine is memorable. When I pick up this camera, I'm determined to leave a good, memorable impression for my clients. Like, I'm not gonna leave, you know, no bad blood between us. So when I pick this camera up, I'm going straight in professional mode, and I'm gonna give you 100% of my service, no matter what. And that alone leaves a memorable impression to them. And if I feel like I've done a good job, I know they think I've done a good job. And so, man, every moment is memorable, man. And that's how I live life, man. I'm determined to leave a memorable impression on someone. You know, I'm not waking up saying, you know, in a bad mood, man. Who likes waking up in a bad mood? No one. You know, so I wake up every morning hoping to leave a memorable impression on someone, because you never know who you're gonna see again. You know, never know who's gonna leave this earth. So, like my kids, when I'm dropping them off at school, I tell them, give it to me. To any other kid, they're like, what? But when I tell my kids to give it to me, this is what they're gonna say. Today, I'm gonna be great, because one day, I'm gonna leave the world. My kids say that every single morning. I make them say it every single morning. Sometimes when I forget to ask them, they say, Dad. And when they say Dad, I know what they want. And so every morning, you should want to be great. Every single morning, you should want to be great. Because one day, you're going to be leading someone. You know, it may not be the world, but there's going to be someone you're going to lead. You know, so when you lead someone, you create an everlasting, memorable experience. So why not create a humbling one at that?
I love it, bro. And you're one of those people, like myself, we have the fortunate passion, as what I like to say, capturing time.
Most
You
definitely.
get to take a moment in time and immortalize it in a picture.
That's it.
I get to record voices and experiences and stories, and I get to put it out to the world. So those times are not forgotten.
Right, most definitely.
You know, when a person moves on, this will still be here.
It will still be here.
And,
Yes, sir.
and that's what I enjoy, and I appreciate you recognizing that.
Most definitely.
And also having a creed for your kids to live by.
Man, that's it, man. That's a must.
It's not enough to have a legacy, you know, having a child is a legacy.
Right.
But to also have your work legacy and your work ethic instilled in them,
That's it,
is
man.
important.
Most
I
definitely.
respect that.
Most definitely.
All right. So now on the flip side of that,
Yes.
along this route, you know, of life, at any point did you feel like you wouldn't be successful? And if that was the case, for what changed your mind?
Man, you always have those moments where you be like, I just want to give up sometimes. You just get tired. But one thing that I do know for sure, everybody's definition of success is different. You know, it depends on your definitions of success. Is your success money oriented? Is your success God oriented? What is your definition of success? And I tell you this, growing up, my mom had this poem on her wall called Don't Quit. You probably heard of it. And what's funny is my son, he's doing his Black History speech coming up in February. And my favorite poem is his poem that his teacher gave him. And so the poem is, when things go wrong, as they sometimes will, when the road you're trudging seems all uphill, when the funds are low and the debts are high, when you want to smile, but you have to cry, when care is pressing you down a bit, rest if you must, but don't you quit. Don't you quit. Man, I get shivers in my body thinking about that, brother. You know what I'm saying? Because things will go wrong no matter what you do in life. You could be doing everything right. Everything right. Your picture could be coming out right or in your camera, and you may get home, put it in your computer, and you lose every single picture. Every single picture. Man, you talk about a heart stopper? Man, ask me how I know, because it happened. But you know what? I went to that client, man, I reimbursed them their money and said, look, let me redo this photo shoot for you because this is what I did, and you know, to rectify the situation. You know what I'm saying? Because of my humbling personality, man, they was okay with it. They was okay with it. But me, before I even went to them with it, man, I was pulling my hair out my head. I didn't know what to do. But the thing about it is, man, God will sometimes put you in certain situations where He just want to see how you're gonna react to it, man. And He want to see if you're gonna quit. Sometimes we can be so close to, you know, our success, but to us, it may seem like miles and miles ahead, you know. And there's this one poet called Robert Frost, and at the end of his poem, the road less taken, at the end of it, it says, miles to go before I sleep, miles to go before I sleep. And man, that's the way, that's how I define success, man. It's miles to go before I sleep. But in the midst of me going, taking my miles, every step that I take is a success. Every foot that I put in front of another, it's a success. You know what I'm saying? I may have miles to go before I sleep, but guess what? I'm succeeding along the way. You know what I'm saying? What kind of legacy are you leaving behind as you put one foot in front of each other? You know, and that's what I look at. You know what I'm saying? It may be miles to go, but I'm enjoying the process as I take these miles. You know,
Right.
and so that's it, man.
It's about the journey.
It is about the journey, brother. It is about the journey.
All right. So this question is what I call the long-term question.
Yes, sir.
So I'm just going to throw it out there and see what you have for me. Where would you like to see yourself and your businesses and your organizations in 1 year, in 3 years, and then in 10 years?
Most definitely. 1 year from now, I want to see my business continue to flourish. Sorry about that stuttering part, man. I want to see my business, I want to continue to flourish in my business. That's one thing I want to do 1 year from now. And what I mean by that is, I want to start helping, well, I've always been helping people. If someone comes to me like, LA, I want to learn how to shoot. Okay, show me, a person has to show me that they want to know how to shoot, because I have so many people come to me and say, LA, I want to learn how to shoot pictures. Okay, I'm willing to teach you how to shoot pictures, but you got to be willing to invest in yourself. Like, people don't want to invest in their camera. You know, this is my baby right here. You know, I take care of my baby. And if I let you borrow my baby, you may not take care of my baby like I take care of my baby. So I prefer you to invest in your own baby. Therefore, you'll see why I'm so so drawn into my baby. You know what I'm saying? It's like a mother with her newborn. Like, no, anybody's not about to keep her newborn. You know, and so I cannot let you handle my newborn because my newborn, this is my baby. She's delicate, you know? And so I want you to get your own baby. And then once you get your baby, then, hey, I'm gonna teach you about lighting. I'm gonna teach you about editing. I'm gonna teach you about the whole nine because I see that you're ready to invest. You already invested in yourself by investing in your baby. You know what I'm saying? This is what I birthed. And getting this child right here, man, the sacrifices that I had to go through in order to get this baby, like I had to go through 3 years of no shoes, 3 years of not buying no clothes, you know, sacrificing, you know, and a lot of people don't know about sacrificing. And so I got 3 of these babies now, literally. I got 3 of these babies and I got 3 kids for real. And so each one of these cameras represent my babies in real life. And so the things that you have to sacrifice, and if you want something, you're gonna get it, you know, and you're gonna have to sacrifice in order to do it. So I cannot let you borrow my baby just because you came to me and say, hey, LA, I wanna learn how to shoot. I wanna teach you, but you gotta be willing to invest in your baby.
Right, exactly. Can't show you how to build a house if you can't buy your own tools.
Most definitely, and that just
right.
that's my year 1 goal. I want to be able to teach people, you know, that's really passionate about photography, and I do websites, I do logos, I do all this kind of good stuff. So people come to me and say, okay, LA, I want to learn how to do this. I'm going to teach you, but you know, you got to be willing to invest in yourself too. It's not enough for me to believe in you, but you got to believe in yourself.
Right. And
so, and believing in yourself is investing in yourself. And what you say, 5 years from now?
3.
3 years from now. Man, 3 years from now, I plan on being retired, to be honest. No, but seriously, 3 years from now, I really want to put most of my energy and my efforts into bounce back, man, because I believe, like my boy said, I believe the children are the future. Oh, that was Whitney Houston. I believe the kids are the future. And I believe that, man, what you instilled in them, what you invested in them, man, they're gonna reap it. You know what I'm saying? Like the 100 Black Men, they have a saying, what they see is what they'll be. You know what I'm saying? If they see a black man like me investing in them, when they grow up, man, they may end up doing the same thing. You know, because of the time and the energy that I put in towards them. Like my boys on my basketball team. Man, they love me and they hate me sometimes. And but guess what? It's a mutual feeling. I love them and I hate them, but I love them more than anything. And so I just see myself spending more time investing in kids, man, right. And teaching them how to be entrepreneurs, teaching them, you know, etiquette and things like that, how to be a young adult. So that's where I see myself 3 years from now. But I have a program right now called Kids and Cameras, where I actually teach kids the business aspect of photography. You know, not just about shooting, but the business aspect. So they can go ahead and get that mentality on, okay, how should I run a business? And so that's 3 years from now. What's the next one?
All right, 10 years.
10 years from now. Oh yeah, straight vacation time. I'll be on vacation then. 10 years from now, man, I just want to leave great legacies, man, on people's lives, man. I want to keep a good spirit. You know, I want to just continue to have a humble personality. That's one thing I want to continue to have. You know, I know it's not a business goal, but this is more of a personal goal for me, you know, leaving those kind of legacies. Now, as far as the business aspect is, of course, I still want to, I hope to continue to still be shooting, you know. Mm-hmm. I hope to have a state-of-the-art photography studio. That's one thing I've always had a dream of, having a state-of-the-art photography studio. But I feel like, you know, I don't know what plans God have for me and my family, or the people that's connected to me in my circle. I don't know his plans, you know, and I don't even want to fathom it, because what I want 10 years from now, God may give to me tomorrow. And so, you know, that's why as far as plans goes, you know, I leave all that in God's hands, to be honest with you. You know, I never plan. What I plan for the now. That's what I plan for. You know, the only thing I plan, and you can ask my wife, the only thing I plan a year in advance to make sure our mortgage is paid up. You know, that's what I plan for, you know, but as far as, you know, goals, man, I promise I live for the now. I live for the now moment, and that's just me personally.
All right, there's nothing wrong with that, and I definitely respect that outlook, because you're right. A lot of times we try to make plans for things, and you know, if you're a firm believer in God, He controls all.
He controls all.
He can, you know, your ideal path may not be the path He has laid.
And that's it, man. And I'm gonna just go back a step. And that's the reason. Oh, I apologize, brother. That's my son, by the when he was 4 years old, and he left this recording on my phone. I'm like, what is this? And so I decided to save it as my ringtone.
That's adorable.
Yeah, so that's my son when he was 4. But y'all excuse me, let me cut this off for a second. You put this in the video.
Hey, I am. That's
I used to be a planner. Like, no lie. Like, some things you have to plan. You know, if you're gonna be a project developer, you're gonna have to plan. You know, if you're gonna start a business, you definitely gotta have a blueprint for your business. And that is called a business plan. Right. And so, yeah, you have to plan, but when you have like your personal life goals, man, I used to plan all the time, but when I realized, man, my plan ain't God plans, it just opened up another way of thinking for me. Yes. And so I actually stopped planning my personal goals, but my business goals, my business plan, man, you gotta plan for that. If you need to get a loan from the bank, you gotta plan for that. They wanna see, you know, they return on their investment if they give you this money. And so, you know, some things you gotta be planning for, you know, you just gotta be smart about it. But as far as my personal plans, my personal goal plans, the plans I have for my, the longevity of where I see my business going, you know, I stopped planning for that, you know, because, you know, like I said, man, God plans ain't my plans and my plans ain't God plans. And sure. So I've been on that road plenty of times where, you know, I tried to plan something and then it didn't go right. And guess who was let down? I was. And so, man, I just stopped planning, to be honest.
This closing question,
yes, sir,
is honestly one of my favorites as well, if not the favorite, because I dedicate it to everyone that's listening to this interview, right? That it reaches, because I'm sure there are other people out there who are in our position who have an idea of what they want to do for themselves or want to go into business for themselves, but they're afraid.
Right.
Steve Harvey called it that leap of faith.
Right. What's that?
And so, what words of encouragement would you have for that person who's standing on the precipice of that leap of faith of, you know, diving into their own idea? What words of encouragement would you have for them?
Man, as I stated before, man, don't give up. Man, there's gonna be a lot of people that tell you, you can't do this, you can't do that. That's not how you do this. That's not how you do that. But what do you tell you? You know, are you gonna listen to these people that's telling you you can't do this? You know, what is your spirit honestly telling you? And if I were you, I listen to your spirit, man, before I listen to this earthly man telling me I can't do that. Because guess what? As sure as you don't do it, they're gonna flip around and they're gonna do what they say you can't do. You know, so my thing is, go ahead and do you. You know what I'm saying? Get clarification. If you're a spiritual man like I am, get clarification from God. You know, just humble yourself. You know, fast for a little while. Get your mind clear and ask God for understanding. Like, God, is this meant for me? You know what I'm saying? And there's been plenty of things that I've done that wasn't meant for me, but I still tried it anyway. And God said, no, this ain't meant for you, but I still tried it anyway, and I fell flat on my face. So, you know, trial and error, man. But I'm not telling you to go that route. But, man, I'm just saying, don't let someone tell you what you can't do when you know good and well you can do it. Like, I tell my wife all the time, babe, I believe I can build a house. And you know what she tell me? Babe, I believe you can build that house too. So having someone else to believe in you, you know what I'm saying? Knowing I never built a house before, but she believed enough in me what she said, babe, I believe you can build that house. You know what I'm saying? I feel, and so that just gave me, and that's attractive, by the way, when she said that. You know, I wanted my wife even more. And so, you know, not giving up, that's the main thing, you know, following through. If it's something that you really want to do, you're going to do it regardless. You know, you don't have to wait on money, because I know people that started businesses with no money whatsoever. That's where that sacrifice come into place. You know what I'm saying? And I leave it like this. And I say this with my football team all the time. This is our prayer that we say with each other. And I got this from our coach, Coach Parrish, Bobby Parrish, when we played football at Theodore. And he said, today is the beginning of a new day. God has given us this day to use as we will. We can waste it or use it for good. For what we do today is important. We want to be good, not bad. Gain, not loss. Successful, not failure. In order that we may never regret the price we had to pay for it. And sometimes you know, some people, they say these words and they say them just to be saying them. But when you tell yourself, I want to be good, not bad, you know, you got to believe in that. Like, you just can't wake up every day and be like, man, I'm gonna go slap somebody. They better not talk to me today. Man, nah, that's not how you live life, man. You starting your day off wrong already. You know what I'm saying? You want to be successful, not failure. Now, take this into consideration. It's okay to fail sometimes, but if you keep on failing at the same thing 5 times because you keep on doing it the same way, you're gonna continue to fail. So if you fail, you gotta switch it up, do it a different way, and it's a form of success. You know what I'm saying? I want to be successful, not failure. To be honest with you, and I'm that type of person. You know, I love everybody. I love everybody, even the person that hates me. I love them. You know, and
That's tough.
people say, "How can you be like that, man?" That's how God made my spirit. You know,
Right.
and I'm a Libra. I like balance. That's just me. I love balance. I hate confrontations. I hate arguing. And I feel like I can talk to anybody. And so I feel like in order to be successful, you gotta be willing to do what others aren't willing to do,
Right.
in order to be successful. And you just gotta have a good spirit at the end of the day. And that's my definition of success. You know, having it. I don't expect for everybody to like me. I don't. But I do expect for everybody to respect me.
Right.
You know, because I give that form of respect to everybody. And that's LA. That's me.
All right.
Yes, sir.
Well, LA, it's been a pleasure interviewing you, man.
Man, likewise.
You know, your name had come across our conversations a few times.
Yes, sir.
And I'm glad our schedules aligned today so we could get this going. It's been a pleasure interviewing. If anyone wanted to reach out to you
Most definitely.
or check out some of your work, is there any way they could see some of your work on like social media, Facebook or anything?
Oh yeah, man, most definitely. I actually have about 4 Facebook pages. I lie to you not. On Instagram, Twitter, Facebook, you guys can find me at LA Photography, and I spell that LAFOTOGRAPHEE. I know when I first started shooting, people used to say LA Photography. Oh man, it's amazing when you really get your name out there, and people will say photography now without even seeing the word photography, and it's amazing. You know, when you start building that legacy, when you start building that foundation, how people just honed on to it. And so it's laphotography.com is my website. And also, man, add me on Instagram, add me on Twitter. I'm on all those social sites. And also Bounce Back. Definitely check out my website. We got a program coming up called Jazz It Up for the ladies, coming up the weekend of April the 5th through April 5th, 6th, and 7th. That's a 3-day event. So for you young ladies, I definitely want you to check out Jazz It Up. Make sure you go to the website, bounce-back.net. And also add us as a friend on Facebook as well.
All right. Well, LA, again, brother, thank you again for seeing us. We look forward to working with you again in the future, man. God bless, bro.
Man, appreciate it, brother. Likewise.
All right.
I don't make sense about a million times, bro. DOUNCE-BACK.net, bounce. Make sure.
I got it.